This is one of those rare times that I get to cover a wired mouse on the channel. I personally don't have a preference, but this one is interesting because it's from a brand that has only appeared once before on the channel. Oh, and before anything else, I'd like to thank CMJ Tech Trading Inc. for sending me this. This was a Christmas present from them. So yeah, thank you guys, and thank you, Michael. Alright, let's get it unboxed and tested. But before we continue with the video, let's keep the lights on here in the studio. This video was brought to you by Sneak Attack Design Lab. They're a clothing company that specializes in technical fashion, more commonly known as techwear, and you can see me in their clothes in most of my videos. I've been supporting their brand ever since I met them back in 2019, and now they're returning the favor. Head on over to the link in the description to get 10% off of your order from their site. Check their clothes out, you're bound to see something badass over there that'll look great on you. Thank you very much to Sneak Attack for this exclusive promo for my viewers. Now, back to the video. So this is the Makalu 67 lightweight RGB gaming mouse from Mountain. It's a wired mouse, but it's got some very interesting design features that I think would interest a lot of you. And as we can see, it comes in a stylish black and blue box. Very high quality. You'll have to see it. At the back, we can see an overview of the features of the mouse. I want to point out 3 things here. It's got a PixArt PAW3370 sensor, Omron switches which are rated for 50 million clicks. It's got holes in it. I'm not a fan, but hey, that's how it's built. At the side, we can see that the box contents are listed out. Alright, that's my job. Upon opening up the box, we can immediately see the mouse inset into some closed cell foam to protect it from bumps during shipping. I love seeing that. In a little pocket connected to the flap, we get the quick start guide and a set of stickers. This is something that's missing from a lot of mice nowadays. I like that Mountain includes some in the box. Under a little flap where the mouse is, we get a pair of replacement PTFE feet for the mouse, for if you wear it out. Alright, that's everything. Very simple. Let's head on over to the mouse for the product tour. Before moving on to the product tour, I would just like to remind you that if you're liking the video so far, please consider subscribing. Less than 1% of the people watching my videos are subscribed to the channel. Subscribing is free and greatly helps me in continuously creating content for this channel. And of course, is always greatly appreciated. Alright, let's head on over to the product tour. So this is the Mountain Makalu 67. Well, I'll be damned, it looks really good. As we can see, its flat white color is immediately messing with the white balance and exposure of my camera. And it's a right-handed mouse too. Also, I have to point out the weight, or lack thereof. Checking here at my scale, it's at 68 grams. Just a gram shy of its namesake. It's super light. Starting at the top, we can immediately see what Mountain calls the lightweight ribcage design. It's got holes, but it's also got connectors in between the holes. Okay, that's what allows it to be very light. We get 2 positively shaped click pads, which means they're kind of like bent outwards, a black scroll wheel, 4 LED DPI indicators, a single DPI switch button, and the back and forward buttons are black as well. Here's how all the buttons sound. The ribcage design continues to the sides and the bottom of the mouse, and the braided cable is fairly long and terminates in a gold-plated USB 2.0 connector. Last thing I want to point out is this elongated ring of RGB LEDs around the scroll wheel, DPI indicators, and DPI switch button. I think this will make the mouse look so good when lit up. Alright, that's everything for the product tour. Let's head on over to the software and setup. So like the Mountain Everest Max that we previously took a look at on this channel, the Makalu 67 is controlled via the Mountain Basecamp software. Upon opening it up, we can immediately see the settings page for the Makalu 67. This is where we can check and update the firmware and set performance parameters for the mouse like polling rate, sensitivity, click speed, button response time, a toggle for angle snapping, lift-off distance, and the amount of DPI levels that you can switch between, with a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 5 levels. We can also factory reset the mouse here and check the quick start guide and download the manual from this page. Next up is the macro page. This is where we can record and save macros and bind them to different mouse buttons. This is a fairly common feature among gaming peripherals, so I'm not going to go too in-depth in this. Next page we have is key bindings. This is just where we can assign different key functions to the 6 buttons available on the mouse. Next page is lighting, where we can adjust the LED lighting parameters of the mouse. And as we can see on this list, we can choose from a multitude of effects and animations. I'll probably just set mine to static white. And lastly, we have profiles. This is just where we can set the different mouse behaviors and configurations depending on which program is currently active. This is particularly useful if you prefer to use different DPI settings for different games, or if you're like me and you prefer to have different button assignments between gaming and working. Like when I'm using After Effects or Premiere Pro, I want the DPI button to be a delete button instead of like a DPI switch, because why would I switch DPIs in the middle of working? Alright, that's everything for the software. Time for the fun part, testing it out on games. Let's go. So I'm assuming by now you guys are used to the disclaimer that I give out when reviewing mice. I'm not any good at games, I just like playing them. Also, this is not an esports mouse, so esports tryhards might as well drop watching this video now. This is not a demonstration of my skill, but of the capabilities of the mouse. Anyways, let's head on over to the first test, Aimlabs. First off, I'd like to give the highest praise to Mountain for the handling and hand feel of the Makalu 67. I'm coming from a light mouse as well, the Fantech Helios 2 Pro S, which is an ambidextrous mouse compared to the express right-handed Makalu 67. But the transition has been nothing but smooth. Tracking performance, as we can see here in my gameplay of Aimlabs 6-shot and grid-shot ultimate, is super accurate, and since I'm not wrangling any extreme changes in weight, I've basically retained my accuracy from my previous mouse. What a nice feeling mouse in the hand. Moving on to our second game, I'm playing Battlefield 2042. This is where I can test the granularity of control of the Makalu 67. I play a machine gunner, which allows me to hold on to that trigger way longer than rifleman, but at the cost of higher recoil per shot, so I really have to be deliberate in my pullbacks to lay down effective fire. And it might not be immediately obvious, but wired mice tend to feel slightly bad for this, because of, well, the wire. But not so with the Makalu 67. I find that the wire is slippery enough and doesn't make the mouse too front heavy to matter in this situation. Look at that, I'm actually stacking it up. Great job here, Mountain. And lastly, you know I have to do it, a few runs of the OG Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered's The Pit. This is a test of the overall usability and comfort of the mouse, and it did not disappoint. It felt like I've been using this mouse for a long time and how well it felt in the hand. And this might be a wild take, but I realized after this really good run that this was a wired mouse. It felt like a wireless mouse in my hand because I never had a moment where the wire interfered with the feel of the mouse. And that says a lot about the quality and the feel of the Makalu 67. It's a really great mouse. Hard stop. Look at that time. So, what do we think about the Makalu 67? Coming in just a little over 2,000 pesos or $35, this is an absolute steal. From the packaging, to the looks, to the feel, to the performance, everything is great. It is a wired mouse though, so you're going to have to deal with that wire. There is a much more expensive and much more customizable wireless version, but if snipping the wire isn't a requirement for you, this is actually a very great buy. I highly recommend it. Again, thank you to Michael from CMJ Tech Trading and Mountain for sending this in. I appreciate it very much. Merry Christmas. So that's the Mountain Makalu 67 lightweight RGB gaming mouse. Do you have any questions about it? Leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer it. While you're there, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It helps out a lot. That's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.